What would you do if one day, you open your husband's will and saw your own mother's name written inside? That's how I discovered the darkest secret of my life. My husband wasn't just my husband. What happened next will blow your mind. The night it happened, the power had gone out in the entire neighborhood. I was sitting in the living room, fanning myself with an old magazine, when my husband's lawyer came knocking. "Madam," he said, "if anything ever happens to him, you should have this," the lawyer whispered, sliding a brown envelope into my hand. My husband, Chuka, wasn't dead. At least, not yet. He was asleep upstairs. Why would his lawyer give me his will while he was still alive? Curiosity burned hotter than fear. I locked myself in the bedroom, tore open the envelope, and unfolded the neatly typed document. My eyes skimmed past the usual lines: land, shares, cars, until they landed on something that made my hands tremble so hard. The paper nearly slipped. "I leave my Banana Island mansion to Mrs. Nkem Okafor." Mrs. Nkem Okafor, that was my mother's name. I froze. My chest grew tight. Why would my husband include my mother, a retired school teacher in Enugu who barely visited Lagos, in his will? I read it again and again, hoping my eyes were playing tricks on me. But no. Her name was there in black ink, underlined. Questions stabbed at me. Did my husband and my mother know each other more than I realized? Why would he give her the house he never allowed me to step foot in? Was this a mistake? Or a confession? Just then, I heard footsteps on the stairs. I stuffed the will under the mattress and quickly lay down. Pretending to be asleep, Chuka entered the room, his cologne sharp, his breathing steady. He leaned over me, kissed my forehead, and whispered, "You'll understand everything soon." I almost screamed. Did he know I had read it? The next morning, I called my mother. My voice shook. "Mama, is there something you need to tell me about Chuka?" There was a long silence on the line. Then she said, in a voice so cold it didn't sound like her own, "Don't ask me that question again, Ada. Some truths will break you." She hung up, my knees buckled. I sat on the cold tiles, heart hammering. My mother. Hiding secrets with my husband. That evening, I drove to Banana Island. For years, Chuka had forbidden me from visiting that mansion, claiming it was under renovation. But I had the keys now, and the will gave me courage. The gates creaked open. The mansion stood tall and silent, like it was watching me. I stepped inside. Dust covered the floor, but the air smelled faintly of perfume, the same lavender scent my mother always wore. And then, from upstairs, I heard the sound of a chair scraping. Someone was inside. "Hello." My voice cracked. The house was supposed to be empty. A shadow moved across the landing. And when the figure stepped into view, my world shattered. The figure at the top of the stairs moved closer, and when the light touched her face, I stumbled back against the wall. It was Mama. She was wearing a silk wrapper, not the old faded gowns she usually wore back home in Enugu. Her gold earrings glittered in the dim light. But it wasn't her appearance that broke me, it was the calm smile on her face, like she had been waiting for me all along. "Mama." My voice cracked. What are you doing here?" Instead of answering, she glided down the stairs slowly, every step echoing like a drumbeat. When she reached the last step, she lifted her hand and touched my cheek. "My daughter," she whispered. "You shouldn't have come here." My throat tightened. "This is Chuka's house, Mama. Why is your name in his will? Why are you here?" Her eyes flickered, something between guilt and defiance. "Because everything you think you know about your marriage is a lie." The words hit me like lightning. I staggered back. "What do you mean?" Before she could answer, I heard the sound of a car door slam outside. Heavy footsteps marched toward the mansion. Mama's face drained of color. "He's here," she whispered. "Quick, hide." But it was too late. The front door swung open, and Chuka stepped inside. His eyes locked on me, then shifted to my mother. His jaw clenched. "You weren't supposed to find out this way," he said, voice low and sharp. I could hardly breathe. What way? What is happening here? Why are you both keeping secrets from me? Chuka walked to the wine cabinet, poured himself a glass, and took a slow sip as if this wasn't tearing my world apart. Because some truths will burn everything you love to ashes. Mama, I turned desperately to her. What is going on? Why does my husband, your son-in-law, own a mansion in your name? Mama's hands shook as she grabbed mine. Because, Ada, this marriage was never what you thought it was. Chuka. She paused, her voice breaking. Chuka is not just your husband. He is, don't say it. Chuka roared, slamming the glass on the table so hard it shattered. Shards flew across the floor. I froze, my pulse racing in my ears. My chest tightened as if the air itself was choking me. Chuka turned toward me, his face twisted with something darker than anger. If you love your life, Ada, you'll stop asking questions. The room fell into silence, except for the sound of Mama's uneven breathing. Then I noticed something. On the wall behind Mama, a huge framed portrait hung, one I'd never seen before. It was a painting of a woman, young and radiant. But the face was unmistakable. It was Mama, but younger. And standing beside her in the painting was Chuka. My stomach knotted. I couldn't hold it anymore. My voice shook as the words stumbled out, Mama. How long have you known him? Her lips quivered, and tears filled her eyes. Since long before you were born. Mama's words lingered in the air like poison. Since long before you were born. My knees felt weak. I grabbed the edge of the table for balance. Chuka's eyes were fixed on the floor, refusing to meet mine. Mama, I whispered, trembling, what? What do you mean? Her tears flowed freely now. She took a shaky breath, then looked me straight in the eye. Chuka was my first love. The room spun. My ears buzzed with disbelief. I laughed, a dry, broken sound. Mama, this isn't funny. But she didn't laugh. Instead, she dropped her gaze, her voice almost breaking. We were young. It was many years ago, before you were even a thought in this world. I loved him with everything in me. But life separated us. He went abroad, and I married your father. I thought that chapter was closed forever. She stopped, covering her face with both hands. But fate brought him back into your life. I stared at her, horrified, then turned to Chuka. You knew. You knew she was my mother before you married me. His silence was heavier than any confession. Answer me. I screamed, my voice echoing through the grand, empty mansion. Chuka finally looked up, his eyes bloodshot, his voice trembling. Yes, Ada. I knew. But I swear, I never planned it this way. I didn't even recognize her at first. It wasn't until after our wedding. When I saw your mother again. By then, it was too late. My stomach churned. Too late. Too late for what? Tears blurred my vision. You mean? All these years, both of you carried this secret, and let me live like a fool. You let me build a marriage on lies. Chuka dropped to his knees, his hands clasped together. Ada, please. Forgive me. I never stopped loving you. What I had with your mother was the past, but what I have with you, his voice cracked. This is my life now. Mama sobbed quietly in the corner, whispering prayers under her breath. But my chest tightened with rage. Forgive you. Chuka, you slept beside me every night, you built dreams with me, while hiding the fact that the woman I call mother was once the woman you called love. He crawled closer, gripping the hem of my dress. Ada, don't leave me. I will die without you. Everything I've ever done, even putting your mother's name in the will, it was to protect you, to keep peace between us. I was afraid this truth would destroy you. My tears fell like fire on my cheeks. Then why tell me now? Why not let me die not knowing? His voice shook. Because the past has a way of catching up, Ada. And now, it has. For a moment, silence swallowed us whole. Then Mama stepped forward. Her face twisted with guilt. Chuka is not lying, she said softly. He loved me once, yes. But what he feels for you, it's different. He begged me to stay silent for your sake. I thought I was protecting you too. I staggered back, pressing my palms to my ears, as if I could block out their voices. My world was collapsing. My marriage, my family, my identity, everything felt like a cruel joke. Suddenly, the lights flickered. A loud bang echoed from upstairs, like a door slamming shut. We froze. Chuka stood quickly, his face pale. Someone else is here. The three of us turned toward the staircase, and then a man's voice floated down. Come on, Code, you've hidden this secret long enough. The voice upstairs faded, but in the days that followed, the mystery man never appeared again. Maybe he was just a shadow of our guilt, or maybe he was real. But what mattered now wasn't the echo in that house, it was the truth none of us could escape. I couldn't eat. I couldn't sleep. My mother's face haunted me, her tears drowning me. Chuka's pleas rang in my ears every night. I wanted to hate them both, to burn the bridge between us forever. But my heart was trapped between love and betrayal. One evening, I found Mama sitting quietly on the balcony of the mansion, her head resting against the rail. She looked older, smaller, broken. For the first time in my life, she seemed like a woman, not just my mother. Mama, I whispered, my voice shaking. She turned, her eyes swollen from crying. Ada, I never meant to hurt you. I only wanted to protect you from a truth too heavy to carry. But in trying to save you, I lost you. I sat beside her, tears blurring my sight. You didn't just lose me, Mama. You lost yourself. You lost him. And I lost everything. Silence stretched between us, broken only by the wind. Finally, I looked at her and whispered the words that tasted like blood on my tongue. If you still love him, marry him. Her eyes widened, trembling. Ada. No. I can't take your husband from you. I swallowed hard, my heart shattering. He was never truly mine, Mama. He's yours. He's always been yours. I was just a bridge between your past and your future. Behind us, I heard footsteps. Chuka stood at the doorway, tears streaming down his face. He dropped to his knees, his voice breaking. Ada, no. Don't do this to yourself. I'll walk away from both of you if I must. I can't lose you. I stood, my hands shaking. You already lost me, Chuka. But maybe you and Mama can find each other again. He broke down, sobbing like a child. Mama reached for him, her fingers trembling as they touched his face. Their eyes locked, not with the passion of youth, but with the ache of two souls who had waited too long. I turned away, my tears blinding me, my heart bleeding. Be happy, I whispered. Both of you. Maybe that's the only way I can heal. As I walked out of the mansion for the last time, I didn't look back. Behind me, I heard my mother's soft sobs and Chuka's broken voice calling my name. But I kept walking. Some wounds never close. Some loves never die. And sometimes, the only way to survive is to let go. The end. Moral lesson. Love is powerful, but when it is hidden in secrets, it becomes dangerous. The pain Ada felt was not just from betrayal, but from silence. Two people who thought they were protecting her ended up destroying her trust. This teaches us that truth, no matter how hard, is always better than living a lie. It also shows that love does not always belong where we want it to. Sometimes it belongs in the past, sometimes it chooses a different path, and sometimes the only way to heal is to let go. Family bonds are sacred, but when selfishness and secrets enter, those bonds can break beyond repair. What happened between Ada, her mother, and Chuka reminds us that our choices today don't just affect us, they ripple into the lives of the people we love most. I just want to take a moment to say a big thank you to all of you, my amazing followers. Every view, every comment, every share, you've made this journey so special for me. You're not just followers, you're family, and I'm so grateful for the love and support you keep showing. We are only just getting started, and I promise to keep bringing you stories that will touch your heart, shock your soul, and keep you glued to your screen. From the bottom of my heart, thank you for being here with me, from User Stories.